Okay, now we are on to the final part of the podcast where we'll be discussing and doing our debate, and I'm buzzing for this one. It's the end of the transfer window. So many transfers, as we discussed earlier in the podcast, ridiculous amounts of money, record amounts of money being spent, and we're going to go through and rank every single Premier League's transfer window. And I've got all of them laminated out. Look at this, guys. You're telling me the budget hasn't gone up on this? So thank you to our sponsors, by the way. I haven't shouted them out in this podcast. Use the code BHS for 10% off at Surprise Shirts. The box is up there for great Surprise Shirts. A really good company. We do love them. And let's get into this. So we're going to start off with Arsenal. Look at this. I'm so proud of myself. I've been playing with these all the time, like non-stop. So Arsenal, where early thoughts, where are we going to put? So we've got, in the rankings, we've got A, B, C, D and E categories. Where are we all thinking for Arsenal?
Yeah, they've had a top transfer window.
It's been a firm, good window for them.
Yeah.
I can't really argue with it.
Firm and good.
Yeah. That's how I'd like to say it in Wolverhampton.
But my only question is with Arsenal, and I don't want to sound like I'm being all damp and mood, but that's not the phrase. Dampen the mood. I knew what to say.
Don't sound all damp and moody.
Come on, you soggy rap.
But I was trying to say is dampen the mood. Sorry.
Well done.
Their signings are great. Gabriel Jesus, Zinchenko, Vieira. We don't really know anything about.
Yeah.
They're great signings, but again, it's not the elite and it's not the experience that I'm still think they're there for.
No, they've got two big winners here.
Two winners, yeah.
They're getting the leftovers, really, though. They're hardly winners, though. You don't look at that Man City side and think first name on the sheet. They're all the players. They're kind of the outskirts. They're the fringe players.
Yeah, but don't forget the second string Man City side could still probably finish third in the Premier League.
Yeah, you're clutching at straws.
I don't know. I still think they should have got more experience. There's still not a player, and I still think this will happen at one point in this season. It's why Arsenal won't get top four. I don't believe Arsenal get top four, and I've said this before.
But they signed the elite players with the big egos in Lacazette and Aubameyang.
Yeah,
and that doesn't Ozil.
Yeah, but
that doesn't fit their philosophy, does it?
I get
doesn't fit Arteta's way of thinking.
I get that, but I still think they need at least one player with the experience that they've got a very young squad, and you saw it against United. I think that was a prime example. Things weren't going well, and it's the first time they've really been tested properly by a good side, and they just didn't want it. And none of the players that have been standing up all season been counted for. None of them shone, and that's my only worry for them. When the going gets tough, I don't think any of these young players have got anything about them.
I think also Mikel Arteta wants players who want to prove a point, and by doing that, get better with him and the team. Although every player they've signed in the last 2 years has got better under Mikel Arteta, in my opinion.
And they seem really hungry, which I really like about it.
They all want it. They've got one of the youngest squads in the Premier League. They all are desperately wanting to move forward and get pushed higher and higher in the league. I think it's good signings, I really do. I think it's top.
I think they're good signings. I just still, I don't know. I would have said B, but it's all about democracy on here. And I listen to you lot. If you lot, are we all going
B plus?
No. If you lot have said A, so we'll go A. I'm not going to.
A.
If it's just me who doesn't agree with it, then we'll slot them.
If there's going to be 4 teams in each category, Arsenal definitely make A, surely.
Well, there you go, guys. If you can see that on the camera, look at this. Oh, so happy. This corkboard is brilliant. The next club is.
Who bought that for you, son?
Shout out to Loza. She's not listening. We've got more chance of Gary Neville listening than Loza, let's be honest.
This is Manchester United.
That's an impression.
This is Manchester United.
This is Manchester United. Brilliant.
Thank you, sir.
Fantastic.
So our next club to discuss is Aston Villa. Where would we want to... So, obviously, we've got Jar. I feel like you've got to take the floor with us and go first. Where would you, first thoughts, put Aston Villa?
Can I hear some of their signings first, please?
What was that?
Can I hear some of their signings?
Oh, yeah, I can go through this.
Diego Carlos, Kamara, Coutinho, Augustinsson, left back.
Olsen, Dendoncker, Bednarek, and they got rid of... It's also what they've got rid of as well, by the way. We didn't discuss that with her. They've got rid of Courtney Horse on loan. They've got rid of Chukwuemeka for a good fee, Target for a good fee, and a lot of other... Hourahan out. There are a lot of players go out the squad.
I think I'd go C. It's just very mediocre for us, I think. If I'm being brutally honest.
Is there any direction to the signings? That's what I think
no,
when I look at Villa signings.
And I think you're right in saying that. And when people were calling for him to be sacked after the Arsenal game, I joined them. They're not going to sack him. the board, because they've ripped up the transfer philosophy completely for him. We're suddenly signing 29, 30-year-olds. People were comparing him to Vieira and saying, we've got to give him time, like what Vieira did at Palace last year. Completely different philosophy.
Yeah.
He had young, hungry players from the Championship who wanted to go and prove a point. We've signed Coutinho, Carlos, as I say, who are 29, 30.
Because you've got the money to.
Yeah, exactly. And they should be able to improve us now, and I don't think they do. I think Kamara's better than what we had at Old Midfield. Carlos is obviously injured for the season. But other than that, we're back to square one. Which that's why I think it's a bang average transfer window for us.
I think your business out. The fees you got in for some players is really good business.
Yeah.
Getting 50 mil for Matt Target, that's good. That is getting 20 mil for that teenager.
Chukwuemeka, yeah.
That's pretty good going. But then your business, I don't think your squad's improved.
No, I think if Carlos had stayed fit, our back four would have improved because he did look okay. But that's two
Especially
games.
against Bournemouth.
Apart from then, but he looked alright against Everton at home until he had his injury. But yeah, I think for me, I'd put us
against Everton. No strikers.
True.
So where would everyone like to put?
I could say it's D. I don't think you've improved at all.
I'd argue D.
I was going to say.
Can we be changing around afterwards as well? When don't you got enough in E?
At the end, by the way, everyone will be allowed to move one club. Everyone will be able to move them as far as they want to, as long as it's realistic and no one can change it. So that's what we would do at the end, just to spice it up a little bit.
I'd agree with D then. I'll go with that.
I think D, because you have made some.
They've made brilliant signings. I've got a very good manager.
And the fact that probably takes us down to D from C is we've suddenly panic signed Dendoncker and Bednarek. For God's sake.
I cannot get my head around that Dendoncker signing. That Dendoncker signing is,
don't.
It screams they are desperate.
Can we move on?
It nearly screams Andy Carroll to Wolves.
It nearly does scream that.
Come to later.
Okay, the next club I'd like to talk about is Bournemouth. What's everyone made of Bournemouth's transfer? So they've signed in Tavernier, Joe Rothwell, Fredericks, Neto from Barcelona, Marcos Senesi, and Jack Stevens from Southampton. I think we can all agree. I don't think we really need to discuss Bournemouth. Surely.
They've changed the Championship squad into a Championship squad.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't get it.
That Jack Stevens one as well, I think that topped it off for me. As soon as I saw that, I was like, yep, they're finished. And fair play to them, getting a good result against Forest, but signings-wise, I think we've all got to agree. They're straight in it, surely. The Tavernier one as well.
E for eggs.
E for eggs.
That's what it smells like, their transfer window. It's stinky.
You've been planning that one all day, haven't you?
Just a little bit.
That was brilliant, that was. Okay.
Wow.
Next one.
Yeah.
That's brilliant, that is. That's got me, that is. Next one we're going to talk about is Brentford. They signed in Aaron Hickey, and I went on a scouting trip. I watched him last year at Juve, and I thought he was man of the match. He was absolutely brilliant, so I think that's a great signing. Max Wilcox from Bolton, Max Dickoff from Stockport, Lewis Potter from Hull for 20 million, which I still can't get my head around.
I'm sort of looking down this list and going,
I think Damsgaard's a good signing. Ben Mee's probably a good signing.
Good signing.
I think it's a better when we say it's a good window. I think for what they've spent,
a very progressive signing though, is it?
But for a
solid
free
Prem signing.
For a free,
when I looked at their defence last year, Ben Mee improves their centre.
It's a bit of steel, isn't it?
Bit of
better than
leadership.
Janssen.
it's experience as well, isn't it? That's what Ben Mee gives you. He's a leader in the dressing room. He was captain of a Burnley side that were in the he got European football at one point. Europa League.
The bonus side was never the same without Ben Mee in the side.
No, I like him. It's a good signing. And Damsgaard.
Yeah, I think overall it's a pretty good one. It's not the best, but it's pretty good for.
It doesn't stand out, but it doesn't honk.
Yeah, for only spending
Yeah, like eggs.
So where was everyone thinking? I was thinking B or C.
Middle of the road.
Middle of the road.
Okay,
yeah, I'd go
we'll remember
C.
that one then, because we could potentially move that, because it depends on the kind of clubs we put next to them.
Joel Valencia, that's a good name, isn't it? One of their players that they've loaned out. Carry on.
Great name, thank you.
Great name.
Next, we've got Brighton. And before we get into it, Brighton, whenever I do these videos, I always say, never heard of any of them. And
That's the hard thing.
this is the problem with Brighton. It's pretty much always a good transfer window, but this is the first transfer window they've had without Dan Ashworth. So I think that could be huge.
Yeah.
But so they signed in Levi Colwell. By the way, I think he's an amazing signing. He was great last season in the Championship. Other than that, Billy Gilmore, good signing.
Unproven in the Prem.
Yeah, he was useless last year.
But
Wasn't he?
he would suit Brighton's play football.
And for 10 million, he's good on the ball. I think 10 million is a steal. If Chukwuemeka can go to Chelsea for 20 million, who's literally had a handful of appearances, and you can get Billy Gilmour, who's played Champions League football, for 10 million.
I've got the same number of Prem goals as Conor Chukwuemeka.
We all do, actually, as a collective.
We do.
I've got one more.
So that for another pod. So Brighton, then, what we all thinking?
It's hard. I haven't
I don't
heard
know
of any of
anyone.
them.
I think there's some no pay for 20 mil. I think that's good business.
Oh yeah, sorry, we can talk about what
Yeah,
they've
true.
sold.
Yeah,
Sorry.
what
You've
they've
got to talk about what they've sold.
Yeah,
they
they've got
have to.
out.
Bissouma, and in fact, that's a very good point actually. Considering who they've sold, and given the start of the season they've had, it's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah.
The fact
So-
they're in top 4 currently, it's well done, Graham
They
Potter.
sold their spine, haven't they? Really?
And they
They've
got
sold one of their best players for less than $1 million to the Albion. That's a number.
But they got 105 million for Kukurea, Bissouma,
Brilliant.
and Ostigard.
I'd go then in that case. I'd spit it on its head. I'd go with they've got a good transfer window. I'll go B.
I'll go B. I
So-
think the outgoings have made their transfer window a good window.
Yeah, actually, to be honest, we were looking at the signings and just all the nobodies, but I think, I completely agree, actually.
Considering that with the start they've had, absolutely.
I would actually be torn to even potentially move them up.
Nah, because the signs that aren't there, so the signs that they brought in aren't there, but the signs out are fantastic.
But getting
so
60
it's
million
big.
for Kukurea on its own, it should be an A, just on its own,
Absolutely.
because that is just ridiculous. I think he's a
No,
great
but then
player.
we're talking about how much money they've made rather than just how good their transfer
Yeah,
window
no,
was as a whole.
Off
I agree.
Kukurea for over 12 months, they made 45 mil.
Great.
It's crazy, isn't it? Well, talking about Kukurea, Chelsea.
Hey!
God, I am good at this. I'm so good at this. Okay, so Chelsea has been an absolutely mental transfer
You
window.
sound like a Cockney then.
Did I?
Chelsea.
I'm a bit of a lad. I'm a bit of a geezer. So Chelsea's ins: Kukurea 60 million, Raheem Sterling for 47.5, Koulibaly for 33, Chukwuemeka for 20. I keep going, Fofana 75, Aubameyang 10.5.
Zakaria.
It is crazy when you actually look at the amount of money they've spent. It is like FIFA career mode. That is the only way I can describe it.
Yeah.
And I hate to bring up FIFA, but it is just FIFA. So what have we all made of it, to be honest?
But again, to mention, what they've lost is Rudiger, Christensen.
And there's no money for it. That's the
Losing
biggest thing.
Rudiger is massive, absolutely massive.
And Lukaku getting out on loan after signing for nearly 100 mil last year.
I think Christensen as well, actually. Christensen was great for Chelsea last year. I thought he
Yeah,
was huge.
good, wasn't he?
And then another free. And I look at it. and
Werner as well.
Yeah, they've got some money for him, but again, it's a big loss. So I would personally, I'd say Chelsea, and I've said this already online, I think Chelsea had the worst transfer window out of any side in the Premier League. Worse than Bournemouth, worse than everyone. I think for what they've lost.
Sterling for less than 50 million.
I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah.
He's not
That's
gonna see-
arguably the best signing of the window.
I'm not sure. For what they've lost, I'm saying, I think they've literally lost. Their whole defence wanted to leave in the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aspilicueta wanted to go.
They've literally lost so
As
many
well.
players.
And we were saying about sounding desperate with signing people last minute. Aubameyang? Why?
I'm not having
But
that
they
at all.
needed a striker. I sort of get
Why?
it. I
Aubameyang's
sort of get it.
not-
I don't.
Bam-
man.
I'd
I
have got
get
it
it.
about 10 years ago, maybe. But
So
not-
they've got rid of a seemingly bad egg in Lukaku,
Yeah.
and they've signed a
Another
proven bad egg
yeah.
in Aubameyang.
I get that point.
Yeah, Thomas Tuchel, a man who is known for being really bad man manager, who goes in for a play. Yes, I know he's had him before, but goes, do you know what we need? We need somebody who is proven to mess up dressing rooms. That's exactly what we need. Makes no sense. It's
We
so
need
backwards.
that bloke in his gold Lamborghini and gold tracksuit. That's what we need in this dressing room.
And the next day, there's green Lamborghini and green tracksuits.
Yeah.
I honestly would smack him straight in at E. I don't.
Would you?
I think it's
I
dreadful.
wouldn't say E.
I'd go D just because they got Sterling for less than 50 million.
If they hadn't signed Sterling,
Okay.
I'd agree with
But they've
you.
overpaid
But
a
that brings
lot
it
of
up a
players.
lot.
They spent 75 million on Fofana.
I know.
Yeah.
It's crazy overspending.
But what I will say is there is some structure though, because I've signed a lot of young players for 6-year contracts, 7-year contracts.
Yeah.
There's a structure there. There is something there. There's a bit of planning. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to adversely talk about that because I think that's very good.
And the way that clubs pay fees nowadays,
Yeah.
are they paying 75 million or are they paying 12, 13 million a season across his contract? Suddenly it's not as bad a
Yeah. Chelsea.
deal as it sounds.
Chelsea could be taking notes off West Brom, their transfer policy. So we're going to go in. We're going to go D or E then. I'm joking. Are we going to go D or C? Because I know you
I
guys.
should
go
think
D.
C. I should think C.
I would have probably said so.
Okay, we'll go straight in at C then. If that's the consensus. 2 people going for C. This is what I mean. It's democracy. I
That's
still
why
think
they call it a debate,
It's
isn't
very
it?
fair what we've done so far.
Yeah.
At least one in each.
Yeah, well, and remember at the end of the episode, before we finish off, we can all move one team. So I know already who I'm moving. No, I'm joking. Next, we've got Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace had a bit of a quiet window after last season when they signed a lot of players, but they again got rid of a lot of players when you look through the list, but not many huge players that really affected the side. It's a lot of youngsters and things. They signed Chris Richards, Sam Johnston, washed player. He's a fraud.
Dusty baller.
Dusty baller. And Decore.
Who looks good, in
I
fairness
really
to him.
like the look of Decore. I think he looks really good in that midfield.
Malcolm Ebiowi.
Yeah, I didn't know.
He's been a standout player for him after signing from Derby and not sort of being one that's come from the Championship and not a massive hype about him. I've seen a lot of things on Twitter that say he's as good as he's as good a young player as they've signed in the last few years.
Lots of hype around him. Isn't
Not quite as exciting as the Eze's, Elise's, but of that sort of ilk.
But that's what Crystal Palace have been doing for a while, haven't they? Now they've been literally dipping their toes. Why can't I not back myself? Dipping their toes into the Championship. Why do I try it?
Have
why
some faith, man.
Yeah, but I don't
look at your
understand.
face, then.
Why do I do it? If I don't know the phrases, why do I keep trying to use them?
Oh, come on.
Okay, let me.
Own
I'm
it.
going to pretend that didn't happen. It will say in the podcast. There we go. I'll try again. So this is what Palace have been doing recently. They've been dipping their toes into the Championship, signing these young talents, and the thing is, they're not spending much money on them. So if it doesn't work out, they can ship them off for next to nothing. And it's not loss really. It's nothing. I think it's a really great business that they've been doing. And again, I think it sticks to the system. I think that's what it's a transfer policy. You can actually see what they're doing. It's not like they've gone, okay, they've signed 5 players, but it's an awful transfer. I can see what they're doing here.
But I think when you look at initially, you go, meh. What's that about? So we're only saying this about the players now because we're 6 games in, and we sort of look at it going, well, he looks alright, he looks half decent.
True.
I think it's very meh. I really do.
I was going to say before we finalise it, I was going to say I reckon it's a D sort of transfer window for me.
Isn't that so? But isn't that sort of Palace as a club though?
Yeah.
Middle of the road Premier League, and there's nothing wrong with being that club. I would love my club to be
I'd love
that
it
club.
as well. I'd love it.
But it's middle of the road club structure signings.
Yeah. The sign players to make them better to then sell them off for a profit in the future.
Yeah. Sometimes you've just got to know what you are.
Is what it is.
Yeah. So what we all thinking then?
D.
I'd say D for me.
C or D. If you're all going D, I can't. I'm not arguing with D.
I can't believe we're saying Palace have had a worse window than Chelsea. I can't get my
I
head
can
around
believe
it.
that.
I
can absolutely believe that.
I'm just not happy with Chelsea. You can quite clearly see there's
They
some
have
reason
also
why.
finally got Christian Benteke off the books.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fraud.
Next, we've got Everton. Now, this again is a bit of a crazy window again for them. There was no transfer business done whatsoever, and all of a sudden it all kind of went a bit crazy towards the end. They signed Onana from Lille for 33.5 million, and from what I've seen so far, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. I quite like him. Connor Cody, I think I've said it before, is signing of the window. I think it's signing of the window. I don't think there's anything better.
Captain leadership.
And a really nice man.
Yeah, he's a great guy. I honestly think it's signing of the window, Connor
But
Cody.
just support Liverpool.
But it doesn't matter, does it? I don't think that kind of stuff matters anymore.
See,
He's a true pro.
Yeah, look how he celebrated his offside goal. And
Yeah.
He didn't get
He didn't care.
his eye patch out.
And then I think the signing of Tarkovsky's pretty good signing.
Solid 3, yeah.
McNeil, Honks as a signing.
he does honk.
Morpie,
Honks.
Baby, Mona, Wincher,
Don't want it.
girl.
Idris Gana-Gueye, I think is a good signing though. I think that's a great signing. I know he's
They need a
coming to the
striker.
end.
They need a striker.
And James Garner, I think, is a great signing. Like I really like that as a signing.
For a club in their position,
Yeah.
and the season that he had last season, yeah, I think it's a good
It's
signing.
15 mil for someone who's never been proven Premier League though.
Yeah, but you can.
The trouble is that's the going rate, though,
Cheap,
isn't it?
innit?
Yeah.
Sort of.
For a young English
I don't mean
bloke,
to
innit?
keep going towards it, but Chukwuemeka,
Yeah.
20 million. So
No, very fair point. It's
So
absolutely
I think
fair point.
I don't mean. I'm
No,
not digging
no,
out the
no,
Villa.
no.
I'm saying because the Villa have done absolutely wonders with that. They're getting 20 million. I think.
I
Yeah.
think getting Gay back in is a very good sign for Everton
Yeah.
as well. I still think he does well for PSG whenever I see him.
Oh yeah, I think it's a good signing for Everton.
Yeah, I think the worst part about their business though is Richarlison off the books because he was huge from last season. He single-handedly carried them last season
Correct.
and points and 60 million. I know a lot of people say it's a crazy signing, but I think Everton. I think he's worth more to Everton than 60 million. He single-handedly kept them up last season, which is worth more than 60 million.
You've got to see how they get on now, haven't you? Been able to really like them,
and they've not got off to a great start without
no.
him.
Getting Dele Alli out the door. Say that when you had a few beers. Is big as well.
Yeah,
having that sort of player in the situation they were in last season. I don't know if they're going to be in the same situation this season, battling relegation. But that's not the kind of bloke you need, is it?
No.
When you're in a battle.
Yeah, so they're currently sat in 16th on 4 points. So it's not been the greatest of starts. Joint points with Forest.
So
19.
again, this is the thing. So I look at their ins, and I think that's a really good window. And then look at their position in the league, and I think, well, what's happened?
Because
were they that bad before?
Yeah, well, they
But
just
I think
about
they were,
stayed up, didn't
because Fat Frank's in charge.
I don't think it is that. I think the players there honked.
they? Yeah, I don't think they're great. Everton, then, where are we slotting them in?
I think getting Cody on a loan and Tarkowski as a free is great business.
C or D?
I'm probably tempted to say C.
I was going to go D or E for getting rid of Richarlison. They're literally but this is the great part about this, because we all see it differently. I see it from the fact that they've just lost their talisman, their best player.
I can understand that,
And
but then
for what they've replaced
I'll
it.
go C.
But also,
but it is what it is. They finish where they did. They can't be expecting to hold on to a 60, 70 million asset when they're finishing in the bottom six in the Premier League.
Yeah, I agree.
He's got to be allowed to go and to flourish.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
And who are they going to bring in that's that good, or that's going to cost that much money, that's going to want to go to a team who finished where they finished?
and they were leaking goals, so much last year. I think bringing 2 top Premier League centre halves in the back 3 formation as well, that Frank prefers, with arguably one of the best centre of the back 3 defenders there. I think it was great business.
Yeah.
Zero mate.
He is my mate.
No, he just loves
Cody is.
wherever
Just loves
it's captain leadership.
captain
honestly.
leadership.
He's player of the Euros according to Si. Honestly.
It was.
And he's still
player of
part,
the tournament without
and he's still part of the pack currently. So
I hope not. So where do you want to go then? I get your points, and I see what you're saying.
So if you want to go D or E, I can go to D.
No, and then
I'd go to D as well. I think.
So again,
Richarlison
we
would be-
can look back and change our mind about our opinions, and we can move stuff around when we look at kind of the angle of that. Then I've just seen the way I've just stuck that on. It's just slowly falling. But it's like Everton's trajectory, recent history. Next we've got Fulham. Fulham have had again a crazy transfer window. Some really weird signings. Again, I don't know what. I think Duffy was a good signing. I like Shane Duffy. I think he's a great signing. Leno surprised me. Pereira from Man United.
Palhinha.
Yeah.
I think it's an absolutely brilliant window for them.
Palhinha, Wolves
It's
are
a
desperate to
deal.
get as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think how Fulham have pulled off some of these signings. Dan James, I think, is a top signing
And they've
for
done
them.
them really under the radar, as well.
Yeah.
The biggest one for me was Vinicius from Benfica.
Well, Vinicius.
I like
Vinicius.
Again, I did a scouting mission.
That's arena way.
I saw him score a hat-trick when I was at Benfica, and since then I've been obsessed with him. He was absolutely unreal. And he never got a chance at Tottenham.
He's never pulled up trees since before.
Because he celebrated at Marine.
But he never had the chance. Going to Tottenham on loan
I'm
as a
all
striker.
for that. A goal's a goal, isn't it?
Yeah.
A goal's a goal. What a statement.
Spurs had an option to sign for 45 mil, and now Fulham are signed for 4.3 mil.
Yeah.
There's a fallen of grace. What's the word?
Fall from grace.
Fall from grace. That is.
You've been around me.
Sam Mills.
Oh, no,
Been around. It's all happening tonight.
Where's the bucket hat?
And then you look at kind of the outs. I think losing Carvalho was huge, but then they have replaced him. And Anguissa going to Napoli. Again, big miss. Seri going to Hull. The fall and demise of his career, by the way, has been ridiculous. But I think they've had a good window. I think I agree.
A lot of outgoings there.
Yeah.
Oh, I think they've had a top window. I'd put them in.
Joe Bryan to Nice. Signing for him.
I always like Joe Bryan.
Nice have signed loads of players. They've got Schmeichel. They've got Ramsey, Barkley. Yeah, they're basically just creating
Rejects.
rejects. Yeah. So okay, I'm agreeing either A or B in my opinion.
I'm going A for Fulham.
Oh, we're going B or
I
A.
want to say B,
I'd
but I can see the argument for A.
I'd have probably said B.
But I'm not. I don't again go. Wow, they're definitely staying up.
I want to leave space on A for when we get to someone and we go, oh, A.
Okay.
Something Mighty Wolves.
Oh no. Okay.
Anyway.
You well.
You well? I thought you were.
So
Has anyone checked if they've signed Andy Carroll yet?
I really hope that's in for next week's podcast. Next we've got Leeds.
What's wrong with your Leeds?
So Leeds have kind of really backed Jesse Marsch. They've signed, and I said it, and I'll come back to my episode on the podcast. I said surprise package of the season will be Leeds, and they'll finish. And I said in the top half of the table. They've started well. I said it on the podcast, and I'll stick with it.
It fell apart Saturday.
I think we're really jumped. I think they're a really good side. They've had one poor game. They tore Chelsea apart.
And Jesse Marsch.
Starting
the way that he reacts on the touchline and stuff.
Is it because they scored that goal against you when your player was down?
Yeah, it is.
But I love that from Jesse Marsch. Though I think as a fan, you'd love your manager to be doing that on the side. I think he's absolutely brilliant.
I think he's a child.
No, I don't know. I like it.
There's just something about
I love him.
Americans in football. I just can't do it.
Yeah, I like it.
Brad Barbley.
Yeah, I just can't do it.
Arteta.
I just can't do it.
Arteta getting like behind all the players and stuff, or behind decisions and reacting for goals. That's brilliant. But Marsh does it in a childish way. I can't stand him at the minute.
I don't know. That we say like you've had your rant now about Leeds. So let's talk about the transfers. Are you better? You feeling
I feel better now. Yeah.
So. I think they've had a great transfer window. I think they've really, again, you can see where they're going with this.
There's a structure.
There's a structure.
Yeah,
it's young talent.
And some big losses in Calvin Phillips and Rafinha.
Yeah.
Huge
big losses to start the season the way that they have.
Two main players on the team last year. To lose them and still come out almost looking better sometimes. You think...
I think that's testament to the gaffer and the signings that they've made, because he's the men that he wanted.
I think they've started well, unfortunately.
No, I think they're really good.
Although now Rodrigo's injured, who started like on a house on fire, and there's still no striker.
Yeah, but Sinestra's just popping up with the goals. He's been a great signing, and I had him in my fantasy team. I backed him in for the first week because of his goal scoring record before he joined, and he didn't score on the first game. I took him straight out, and I really wish I'd have kept him.
There you go.
But Tyler Adams, Aronson, Christiansen, Mark Rocker, a lot of these players, Champions League experience.
Rocker's a top signing.
Yeah, I think, and the fact that they got Rocker for 10 million.
It's a good window, yeah. It's a really good window for them.
And you think, so they've got rid of Calvin Phillips and Rafinha, and then they've got in 4 or 5 players who've all got Champions League experience.
Yeah.
For me, I'm going A or B. I think it's pretty, and it's not even reactionary to how well they've started. I just think they've replaced well.
Yeah. I think the way that we were talking about direction and philosophies and whatnot, and the way that the manager wants to think, I could get behind A.
I could too.
Okay, there we go.
Fine, A.
As much as I dislike them.
I think,
begrudgingly.
Yeah, begrudgingly A.
The players have surprised me how good some of them have been as well.
Yeah, because I think when you look at what Leeds have done, you see Everton selling Richarlison for 60 million and then replacing them with average players, whereas Leeds have sold 2 of their best players and then replaced it with loads of great players. And I think that's the difference. Whereas you look at what Everton... I don't know why I've gone to Everton, but I'm saying as in... Do you get what I'm trying to say with the way they've gone about things? Richarlison, and then they've signed McNeil and players like that. Whereas they've gone out and gone, do you know what, we're going to take a risk and go for Champions League players.
They've also signed England's player of the tournament from the Euros there.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, I didn't even think about that. Next we've got Leicester.
We don't need to discuss this one, do we really?
Is there a hole in the table we can put them through?
In
fact, put them in the bin next to Si over here.
So we have actually... I'll be able to do the... do you remember last time when we did this?
Yeah.
So what we'll do... So what we're going to do with Leicester is we'll put Leicester just in front. They don't deserve to be on this cork board.
Is it worth us even talking about them?
Face down.
Let's be honest.
Oh yeah, face down. There you go. So Leicester, they're down there. I have to admit, there's quite clearly something gone on there.
Pictures of your family around
It's something's gone on, because their transfer policy in recent years was absolutely unreal.
Yeah.
And it's just gone to complete pot.
Something's gone wrong.
I said last week, didn't I? That every summer they always sell someone big. Last summer they didn't sell anyone big, but they're still invested. I think this is the summer that's like the catch up.
They're making up for it, yeah.
They sold someone for 75 million. I know it was on the deadline day and things, and the way it went about, but they knew it was going to happen.
But what Si's just said is right, that they didn't make up for it last summer, so they're making up for it this summer, which is why they didn't mind letting him go on the last couple of days, and they had no intention of bringing anyone in. And as a fan, that's sort of unforgivable.
It sucks, don't it?
Yeah.
And I think Soyuncu's off as well, isn't he? Isn't he off to Galatasaray?
Is it?
It's another one. Yeah, Lord Farquaad.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's just they didn't...
I've never heard before.
Gary Lineker, I always see tweets about it. Whenever he has a good game, he always tweets a photo of Lord Farquaad.
It's a spitting image, yeah.
So good.
So yeah, in the bin, Leicester City.
Oh, he doesn't have Twitter, does he? That's why. You've not seen that. You don't have Twitter, do you?
Nah,
Whenever he has
too
a
good
good...
for Twitter.
don't like it.
Anyway.
Don't care people's opinions. That's why I'm on the podcast.
Yeah, don't read the clip. Don't read the reaction to your clips, Si, if you don't like reactions. Next
at
we've...
me, at me.
You want me to put your socials out there? I really can. Next we've got Liverpool.
Poor.
They've signed Darwin Núñez for 85 million. Carvalho, I think, is a great signing. Calvin Ramsey, no one really knows anything about him. Artemelo, I think honks as a signing.
I think there's one player that defines their whole window, and it's not an in, it's an out.
Mane.
Yeah.
I don't think everyone will realise how big... Well, I don't think Liverpool realised how big Mane was for Liverpool.
He set the tempo for everything, didn't he? He's great.
He's the man.
Set the standards.
He's the man.
We pretty much did a podcast on just Mane when we said there is no one who can play in all the positions he can and play at a world-class level. He's a world-class winger, he's a world-class striker, centre-forward. He's creative, he's got tenacity.
He was arguably underrated.
No, he definitely was.
Absolutely.
He is underrated. And he's tearing up for Bayern Munich. Absolutely tearing it up.
And I think Bayern Munich will win the Champions League this year.
So do I.
Yep, I think
that's
Bayern
cute,
Munich.
we agree.
Yeah, that is.
Wow.
It's how long does it take? 32 episodes. We agree on something.
Well done, Sam.
Yeah, I think Bayern will win the Champions League. But yeah, so where are we putting Liverpool?
D.
For me.
Maybe even E.
I want to go E just purely for the amount of money they've spent on Darwin Núñez.
Angry donkey.
I agree with that. The angry donkey, yeah.
Yeah, but the fact they've spent, when you compare it to Haaland, you think what you can get for less money.
Yep. Sold,
yeah.
done, E.
Okay, so Liverpool. Liverpool are with Bournemouth in E.
Good. Despite them beating 9-0.
Yeah, there's something that doesn't quite level up there. Isn't there?
It's
The statue of a club, the statue of a club.
Yeah.
we'll stick with it. Next, we've got Man City, and I'll let one of you guys go first because I feel like everyone knows my opinions on this. I've made it very clear off.
They've won the transfer window,
in my opinion.
Yeah, I think you got it spot on earlier, Sam.
We spoke off camera about this. I think what they have done
It's excellent.
is just obviously. I think in the world, Barcelona have won the transfer window in the fact that they've just destroyed the transfer window and they've made their own rules. But I think Man City won the transfer. Signing Haaland as it is for 55 million
For the money, yeah.
So they got rid of Raheem Sterling, a player that Pep didn't want in his side, for 7 million less than getting in Haaland. 7 million net.
Yeah. Which is mad because Sterling's got the second most goal contribution under Pep.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Which is unbelievable, isn't it, really?
I don't think it's a case of Pep not wanting him. I think it's a case of Pep not wanting the stink that Sterling was about to stir up by not being in the team every week.
Yeah.
And I think Pep's sides are so good because there is no stink within the group ever.
Yeah.
They're always
Great
so
man
harmonious.
managers.
Yeah.
It's why he get on with Ibra, wasn't it? For example, because he was, wants to be the man of
Henry.
the team, and Henry the same. There's a history of players where they want to be the man. Pep said, "No, there's no man in my team. There is a group, there's a team."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Little boys.
Well, yeah. There's no I in team, is what he would say.
Yeah.
Pep.
It is, Si. It is.
There is me though.
Do you think he invented
it
the
is.
phrase?
No, Gandhi did.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think
I thought it was Nelson Mandela.
the other great business I thought they did as well is we can like Bazunu going to Southampton for the money they got for players like him. He literally was at
Who is he?
He was at Portsmouth last year.
Who is he, honestly?
They got 15 million for a guy who was at Portsmouth last year. They got rid of Lavia to Southampton, Zinchenko, a player that he quite clearly didn't want. They've got rid of so many players. The money they really spent net wise, I think, was brilliant. I think they've won the transfer window.
Been top for Man City. Been really good.
Yeah, definitely smack them in a top.
Aye.
Smack him in.
Next we've
Bosh.
got
A+.
Man United. Who wants to take the floor with Man United?
I think in the end they've had a very good transfer window.
Malacia, what a signing.
Looks
What
great
a
to me.
player. Never heard of him before. I think
He's all or nothing,
He's
isn't he?
just looked brilliant.
Yeah.
But he does look exactly like Nathan Ferguson. He used to play with Albion.
He plays like him as well.
I
Actually,
thought he'd got
Wow.
a really good move when I saw him play against Liverpool.
Do you know what I think though? They've massively overpaid us on players again. I
But
know, but they always do because Man United.
They make-
But
yeah.
they've so overpaid us on. Anthony's never scored over 10 league goals in a season.
Stats.
But don't you think that?
85 mil.
But don't you think that clubs see Man United come knocking
Oh,
and
absolutely.
they just go 10, 15 million extra? On
You,
the,
you,
yeah.
you,
on the
receive,
fee?
you would receive a bid from Man United and you would straight away reject it, waiting for the second bid.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think, the one that I've got questions on is Dubravka. How he's sneaked in. Fair play to him. I don't know how he's done it.
I mean, him was Tom Heaton.
It is a bit of a
No,
strange
I know. It just, when you look at the list, they've got Casemiro, Eriksen, Alessandro Martinez, and then Anthony. Some of these players that have been spoken about across Europe, and then Dubravka at the bottom.
Great subkeeper.
He's done great. Fair play to him.
Maybe it's money laundering.
And the fee, I think, if he triggers whatever the transfer fee it is about £4 million, so it's dirt cheap.
Oh, hold up! But didn't they pay $2 million for the loan fee?
Yeah,
I'm sure I heard that.
£2 million loan fee. And it was like another 2.5 if he has to sign on top. So it's a decent bit of business.
And I feel like they finally got rid of a lot of the dead wood that they've been trying to get rid of for a long time. I know we spoke about how they were going to struggle without a lot of these names like Mata, and they got rid of Cavani, Matic, Lingard,
some of the outs are massive.
Tellez, Eric Bailly. Load of players went.
Sorry, on their release list is Paul McShane.
So he was in the under-23s. He was under.
Fantastic.
It's not the bloke who played for the Albion.
Yeah, no,
Yeah. And Hull.
So he was there. Did you not know that?
40.
Yeah, he was playing in the 23s.
Do you know
he was got a coaching role? Yeah, he got a coaching role.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah,
I saw Tom Huddleston play within 23s the other night.
Go by the ball straight away.
I went to an away game at Coventry, last away game of the season, yonks ago, dressed as Paul McShane. Wow. Absolutely. Because we do, we're always away, the last away game of the season, do fancy dress. And for that season, it was Irish in honour of Paul McShane. Brilliant. And I had a shaggy ginger wig.
Fantastic.
We need to find the photos, please. So where are we going with Man United? I can't believe
I think it's B because they overpaid so much.
And also they got rid of Pogba, which I think brings them up massively as well.
I'd go away. I think they've had a great transfer window.
I was thinking. I think when you compare them to Arsenal and Man City, I don't think it's on the level of their transfer window. So I'd probably go just one down. But I think
they've overpaid so much as well. I get the outs are really good for me, but they've also not really received any fees for them.
So
there's a lot of money going out, there's nothing coming back in.
Yeah, but some of them they're not paying the massive wages anymore that Pogba would have been on. And it's a massive loss in terms of transfer fees that they've paid for him. But
Wage replace that with
budget
Casemiro being on 400 grand a week or something ridiculous like that.
But then you look at that list there: Cavani, Mata, Pogba, Lingard. I'd go away. I would.
Okay, we'll whack them in A and then we'll see. We'll see what we're saying because we've got a lot in A now. Next we have got Newcastle.
B for me.
So
Straight off the bat.
Got
Botman again. Another player we scouted.
Isaac.
Isaac.
What do you say?
Oh, forgot about that actually.
Isak.
Is that how you say it?
Isak
or Isaac?
Isak, I think.
Isak.
They're and then obviously Target from us.
I think they're very sensible signings, which they have been since they came into the money. We've said it a lot of times between us, haven't we?
Yeah.
It's progressive signings rather than revolutionary signings.
Yes.
And they've not gone crazy, and they've not gone and just splashed ridiculous amounts on a marquee signing like Robinho at Man City. Because
I was going to say that. I was going to say Robinho and Joe.
Yeah, players like that.
Joe, 19 mil on him. Can you believe that?
Yeah, they've been really sensible with it. You can kind of see where they're going with it. So I personally think they should probably be B.
I think Nick Pope's sign is phenomenal.
Superb, yeah. Great bit of business.
I actually think B's harsh.
But well, we can move stuff around. Remember, we can have a look at it.
We probably can move stuff around.
We can move it around. Okay, the next we've got Nottingham Forest, and we've spoken about their transfer window. I'm not going to list the signings because we can't go on for it. Yeah, the podcast will be 12 hours. So, what has everyone made of it? Where would we want to put it in straight away?
It's so hard to say because it's such a unique circumstance, this, isn't it? Of how players are bought.
How do you even rate it? Yeah,
I mean they've overpaid a Morgan Gibbs White for a start, absolutely. But then they've got some really good signings in, like Jesse Lingard on a free. I know he's been paid a whack each week, but I think it's a great signing in the week.
Kouyaté, Henderson.
And you got to consider, as I said earlier, how many players they've lost in the summer from loans and release of contracts and that. I think they've replaced well, but then do I think it's a Premier League squad still? I don't know. It's so hard to say. But then the squad that got promoted was also boss after 10 games Championship last year. Yeah. So they've improved it. There's no doubt of that.
I think it's got potential. And as I said earlier, as a fan, it's the best window. It's just brilliant. It's what you want to see.
What's their best window? Most entertaining window.
If you were a Forest fan.
Yeah, Championship fan.
You can see your team going for it, having come out of the Championship. I think it's just unreal. but
It's reckless. It's risky.
it's risky. It could go one or two
Because
ways.
if they
yeah.
go down,
It's got recipe for disaster
Yeah.
written all over it.
Yeah, definitely.
they are screwed if they go down. Financial fair play and
God,
things like that.
100%.
I'm
He needs to
saying
find
C.
his best team
I'd say
as quickly
C
as
for me.
possible.
Would you say so? You're looking at D then, weren't you?
I just went to I
Do you think D?
I personally think D, but
No,
I'd say C personally.
no lower than C.
Yeah, I think if you've got Lingard and Henderson and Kouyaté, I think that's
enough.
good signings, I'd
That's a
say.
3 as well.
I
Doesn't
just
have sounds OEA for a 3, haven't they?
yeah, I just think they've gone a bit crazy.
Did he go in the end? Is he?
Did
Is
he
he
go?
signed?
Aurier.
Aurier
No, I
did
don't
he?
think so.
I don't
Is
think.
it not?
Let me just check.
Also, the left back from Atletico Madrid on loan. That's a good sign.
I
isn't
know.
it?
Isn't it like a $6 million loan fee or something
Yeah,
ridiculous
yeah,
like
yeah.
that?
That's
Yeah.
what we pay for Ross
there's-
Barkley.
Yeah, there's an option for it. It's mental.
God.
He paid 6 million for a
It
loan
was a
from Ross
lot.
Barkley.
Yeah, it was a lot of money.
Jesus
I think it
Christ.
was a £10 million loan or something like that.
Okay, then next we've got Southampton, and I want to straight away say I think Southampton have an amazing window. And again, I think it just makes sense what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're signing young talent. I think Aribo from Rangers is a great signing. Lavia from Man City started well.
Do you?
Maitland-Niles. I think it just it's what Southampton do every year. They
I
replace
don't know
well.
many
They
of their
replace
players.
very well. I'm not sure about Aribo.
I'm not either.
I watch
I
more
love him.
Rangers games than I usually would, purely because of their run in Europe last season, and I just don't think he did a lot.
Oh, see, I watched a lot of his, and I thought he was by far the best player. I thought he was more exciting than Morelos. I thought he was amazing.
Yeah, but I think he overperformed for an overperforming Rangers side. I think the Southampton side, I think will get found out.
Well, he's got a goal, hasn't he, so far? I think that's all he's got so far.
Yeah,
So I look at the ins. I don't get excited by him personally.
It might just be.
I think they've done really good business, as you said.
Maitland-Niles, I think it's just sensible business.
Apart from Maitland-Niles, I think
I think
he's
Maitland-Niles
absolutely cack.
I think Maitland-Niles is a
Oh,
great
no,
player.
I think Maitland-Niles is a good, decent player.
Where did he play?
He was brilliant or rubbish. So I can say that from someone who's watched him every game for 6 months when he played
For
for
the
the
Albion.
Albion. Some days he was brilliant. He was the man you wanted him to be from Arsenal on loan, beating players, playing fantastic passes. Even though I don't even know if that's his game really.
Yeah.
But other times he just was missing, and you can't get missing in midfield in
No.
the Premier League.
Where's everyone want them then?
I'm thinking quite low down, to be honest with you, because I just.
I was thinking B personally, but if I might be in the
I'm
minority
thinking
here.
D.
No,
honestly.
I'd probably go with you on B, like a B minus for me.
I think so.
What's these things for the
I think
assumption?
it's easy.
I
We've
don't-
tried so hard to put the fire up.
Okay, next we've got Tottenham. Now, so they've signed Perisic on a free, Fraser Forster, Bissouma, Richarlison, Longley, Jed Spence, Romero, and then I'd never know how you actually pronounce that name.
Udoji?
I never know how you say it.
He's gone back on loan to.
I know, but
Okay,
it's still a
First
a
name
signing.
Destiny. Brilliant.
I think the biggest thing for me is the fact that they sold Jack Clark for 10 million and
Yeah.
Bergwijn for 26.5. I think that's great.
Yeah, and got rid of Lo Celso and people
Yeah.
like that.
I
So-
think they've had a really good window.
I think they've had a good window as well.
Where would you be thinking? Because I think they've had a lot better than some of the other clubs that are in A.
I think they've really improved their squad.
Yeah.
They've really improved their squad. They have. Bear in mind,
I'd go A as well. So.
yeah.
but they're not.
I don't think Man United should be there.
I don't think Man United should be there now. If
Should we demote United early doors?
It's up to you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just-
I said it before.
I'm just saying if we've got the likes of
I'd say that B was the place for them.
For
Tottenham.
United or Spurs?
No, for Spurs.
You
For
think United,
Spurs?
you think United have had a better window than Spurs?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Ooh. Okay. Well, we'll put. The majority says A, and then you can move it around. That's what we said. Add something at the end.
I think the tune that Conte's getting out of Spurs right now is.
They're going under the radar, aren't
Yeah,
they?
they're going
I
under the
said that.
radar.
There's a clip of me somewhere on the podcast
Yep.
saying they'll do very, very well, and they are doing very, very well.
Well, it's their best. It's their joint best start.
Thanks
It's
for
their
confirming
joint.
that.
It's their joint best ever
They'll,
start in
I
the
think
Premier
they'll
League.
do great under Conte with his
Yeah.
players.
Yeah.
They'll challenge Man City. They'll be the only team to challenge Man City this
Oh,
year.
I think they might do as well, Si, but I'm not saying
I don't
it
think
out
Man City. I still think Man City can walk away with it, but Spurs will be closest.
Next then, West Ham.
loud. West Ham.
Could go either way.
I think.
Bubbles.
Yeah.
Very much unproven.
I think there's some real amazing
There's
signings.
Some really
names,
good stuff.
Some really good names.
Kera, Lucas Paqueta,
Cornet, I think it's a great signing.
and
as
me
well.
for the money.
The striker, that song from the Italian club,
Scamacca.
he's been bagging goals in as well recently.
I'd go with B for me for a West Ham. That's a really good window
because they're finally invested.
It's a lot of unproven talent in the Premier League.
I would have said middle of the road again. C probably.
Would you?
Yeah.
They've not lost anyone.
There's good European talent there.
They've not lost anyone, have they?
No, lost Mr. West Ham.
Oh, he's crap.
And they got 50 million for Diop as well. I think that's
good business.
Good business. Shall we then? If we half saying B, half saying C, should we whack it in the middle, and then we can move it?
I'll be happy with B, personally.
Well, does that put us in B?
It does put us in B then.
Okay. I think we go in B for the Hammers.
Side changing his mind. Thank you.
I tore myself into it, I think.
Yeah, I think you did. And then the final club of the transfer rankings, Wolverhampton Wondrous. I would like to go straight in, and I think they should be in E.
E?
Yeah.
Same.
For real?
Yeah.
Why?
Disappointing. I think it's really disappointing window.
And I think they've really let the fans down.
No, he's just trying to wind you up.
Oh, who's put 50p in the Baggies fans?
I was trying to wind you up. No, I'm just trying to get reaction. I think you've had a good transfer window, to be fair.
It's a great window.
I was just waiting to see reaction. It was worth it.
Man, it kills me.
I don't know whether Jake is, though.
I think Jeff Shee is a fraud.
No, I think
he's been having you on for years.
I think you've had a great transfer
window. What
window.
a window for the Wolves.
It was your face, and that was worth every moment of that. So thank you for letting me have that moment.
Okay.
No worries. I'll tell you what the best bit about their window is. It's not even on there. Keeping Ruben Neves.
Oh, I'm about to say
100%.
Him and Martino signing a new contract as well.
Yeah.
Grab his, but then get Mateus Nunes in. Unbelievable.
Yeah, brilliant.
Honestly, many top European teams are tracking him.
Yeah.
And we've somehow got him because of, I'm guessing, his agent.
Yeah.
They were having you on for months, weren't they? They were just leading the fans along, weren't they?
Oh.
And then all of a sudden, it's got no money.
Spent 70 million quid
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
I think
And then we've got Guedes in. We've got some good players. I know we lost some big players as well this year. We lost some big players in Cody, Seiss,
Dendoncker to the Villa.
But I think the biggest part about how great your transfer window was as the Wolves is 70 million or 60, 70 million for Dendoncker, Morgan Gibbs-White and Willy Bolly.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And that's amazing business.
And you don't have to look at Fabio Silva's ugly little face
to
for at least a season.
He's scoring a lot of goals in
He
Belgium right now.
loves him. So where do we want to
Sam's
put
got Fabio Silva back in his Anderlecht shirt.
I really
Number
don't.
99.
I really don't. Where do we want to put them then? I was personally thinking C.
I was thinking B. I think it's a great win. We've improved our
We're gonna
starting
have to
11.
shift somebody then.
I
I think we've got to shift somebody then.
So now Wolves B, West Ham C.
Fine.
Okay then, we'll do that.
I could probably agree with that. It's unproven signings from
Yeah.
West Ham, in it.
Okay then.
I really think Wolves' start 11 has really improved. I know there's still a lack of depth. I appreciate
it's
that.
a shame your performances haven't changed.
But we've got chances. We can't score
Can't score goals, can you?
But we're so defensive. We've currently got the best defensive record in the Prem.
Well,
No team has conceded less goals than us.
Well,
That's a great record.
No, it is a
so
good
far.
record. It is a good record.
And don't concede, you can't lose, can you?
absolutely.
So that's a foundation at least to move forwards.
You can't. You were trying to think of a way you could argue that then, weren't you? I'll see if I was thinking, you can't.
Because his little soul patch twitching.
Is it not? But is that not a bit of an embarrassing argument for what Wolves fans think that they've been over the last few seasons, expecting Europe, expecting so much? Majority of all, not you, maybe not you.
I'll let you finish.
You think they're getting to Europe this season?
I do think that.
I think it's a massive.
I think we're challenging this year.
It's a massive slashing of the expectations from where they thought they were going, the direction they thought they were going in.
I know last year we finished really poorly, I get that. We've really improved the starting 11.
I was going to say, you've won about 2 in 16, haven't you, or something like that?
Something like that, but we moved past that.
But we've put them in B, so does that mean the manager can't get them playing?
Well, in the last 4 years, we've finished top 10 and we've got a better squad now than last year and years before that. So why can't we push forwards instead of just being a top 10? Why can't we push the top 8, the top 7?
I think since the last podcast we've done, I think now looking at the signings, kind of stepping back, I think I probably was quite harsh. I do think you've had a good window.
Yeah, it's good.
I say it to the grit of my teeth. I do say it to the grit of my teeth.
Really sorry.
Sometimes I look back. I've got to be honest.
And I think Collins and Kilman as the 2 centre halves look tremendous together.
I like the look of them.
Really good.
I agree. And there you go. So that's our ranking of the Premier League clubs. But before we go, everyone can make one change on this list. to finalise it, and no one else can move that club you've moved. Don't be ridiculous and don't whack Villa in A and stuff like that. We always say, let's be realistic. What would you like? Leicester.
I thought you said it was free choice.
That's the only thing, because then all we did last time was just we started just swapping each other's decisions, and then it ended up being the exact same. So, Si, if you want to go first, what's your thoughts?
I want to go last, really.
I can go first if you want.
I'm going to put Forest in D.
Okay, so we're moving Forest from C straight down to D. I thought you were going to do that.
Yeah, to D, not E, please.
Sorry. I was in my own world because I wanted to put them to E. Jake, is there any ones you want to move?
I think Southampton could go to D as well.
Okay, Southampton to D. Geez, C's just gone. I feel like me and Joe might have to move someone to C. No, go with what you're thinking, Joe.
I'd put the Villa in C. I think we've had an okay window.
They call him
Very middle of the road.
Okay, and I am going to make my final decision, and I'm going to finish it off with Everton staying where they are. No, I'm changing my mind. I'm going to move Chelsea down to E.
Ooh.
I think Chelsea definitely for me have to be an E. And Leicester, remember, don't forget everyone there at the bottom. So that is our full list. Let us know in the comment section down below if you agree or disagree. If you're watching on YouTube, please do smash the like button and subscribe. Thank you, everyone.
5-star only, please.
Yeah, 5-star only. And if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, we need to carry on this 5-star only. Drop us a 5-star review. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Si, Jake, Joe, it's been a pleasure, boys.
Great debut, Jake. Great debut.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
We'll see if we can make it to next week. Thanks for listening. BucketHatSam, over and out, baby.
Baby.